There is a depth in the ocean where sunlight stops winning. Above it, the sea behaves in ways we recognize. Blue water, familiar movement, life shaped by energy falling freely from the sky. But below that invisible boundary, the rules begin to break. Colors disappear. Red vanishes first, then orange, then yellow, until even blue fades away. What remains is not darkness. It is absence. And yet, life does not retreat. It adapts. At the surface, the ocean is driven by abundance. Sunlight feeds microscopic plankton. Plankton feeds fish. Fish feed giants. Entire ecosystems rise and fall with the daily arc of the sun. Everything here is connected to light, but descend just a few hundred meters, and that connection weakens. The sun no longer fuels life directly. We are entering the twilight zone, a region so vast it wraps around the entire planet, yet remains almost entirely unseen. Here, plants cannot grow. Photosynthesis fails. Green energy disappears. The ocean becomes dependent on leftovers. Tiny particles drift downward from the world above. Fragments of dead plankton, waste, shed cells, the remains of animals that never made it back to the surface. To human eyes, it would look like dust. Down here, it is survival. Scientists call it marine snow, a constant, slow fall that feeds everything beneath it. Where energy is scarce, bodies change. Many creatures of the twilight zone abandon color entirely. Their tissues become transparent. Organs float like shadows. Muscles fade into glass. Some squid look unfinished, as if the ocean erased parts of them. Some octopuses appear to be nothing more than eyes drifting through water. Transparency makes them difficult to detect in the faint remaining light. When there is barely any illumination, casting no shadow can mean staying alive. But invisibility is not the only strategy. Some creatures choose the opposite path. They create light. Bioluminescence appears everywhere in the twilight zone. Cold chemical reactions produce glow without heat. No fire, no flame. To us, it looks beautiful. To the deep sea, it is a weapon. Light is used to attract prey. Light is used to signal mates. Light is used to deceive. Some animals glow from below, carefully matching the weak shimmer coming from the surface. When viewed from underneath, their silhouette disappears. They erase themselves. Camouflage not by darkness, but by imitation. Others exploit a loophole. In deep water, red light does not travel. It vanishes almost instantly. Some creatures emit red bioluminescence anyway. To most animals, it is invisible. To them, it is a private spotlight, a wavelength only they can see. In this world, survival is decided by who can be seen and who cannot. But the twilight zone holds more than tricks of light. Each night, something enormous happens. As darkness falls above, billions of creatures begin to rise. Fish, squid, jellies. Entire populations migrate upward together, feeding near the surface under cover of night. By dawn, they sink back down. This daily movement is the largest migration on Earth, greater than all herds, all flocks, all swarms combined. And for centuries, humans had no idea it existed. It was discovered by accident. During wartime, sonar operators detected something impossible, a solid layer beneath their ships, a false seafloor. Every night, it rose. Every morning, it sank. It wasn't rock. It wasn't land. It was life, an entire hidden world moving as one. The twilight zone is where the familiar rules of biology begin to bend, where transparency becomes armor, where light is used to hide, where billions of animals rise and fall in a rhythm older than humanity itself. But this is only the threshold, because below this layer, sunlight disappears completely. No dawn, no dusk, no seasons, only permanent night. In the next part, we descend past the last traces of light into a world where predators glow in secret colors, where bodies absorb darkness itself, and where even reproduction follows rules beyond imagination. This is where the ocean becomes alien. Below the twilight zone, sunlight does not fade. It ends. There is no dawn here, no dusk, no rhythm of day and night. This is the midnight zone, a layer of ocean stretching thousands of meters downward, wrapped in eternal darkness. The temperature hovers just above freezing. The pressure is crushing. To the human body, it would be fatal in seconds. And yet, life persists, not by resisting the darkness, but by embracing it. In the midnight zone, vision becomes unreliable. Eyes still exist, but light is no longer something you wait for. It is something you make. Nearly every living thing here can produce its own glow. Not bright, not warm, just enough. Bioluminescence becomes the dominant language of the deep. A flash to confuse, a pulse to attract, a steady glow to signal, or nothing at all, because sometimes the safest move is to disappear completely. Some predators here wear darkness like armor. Their skin absorbs nearly all incoming light, so little reflects back that even a direct spotlight barely reveals them. They are darker than shadow. In the beam of a submersible, they do not shine. They dissolve. Evolution has turned absence into camouflage. Others take a more sophisticated approach. Some fish emit red bioluminescence, a color the deep sea cannot see. To most creatures, red light might as well not exist. But these animals have eyes tuned to that hidden wavelength. They hunt with a private searchlight, illuminating prey without revealing themselves, a secret only they can perceive. In the midnight zone, even light has become classified. Predation here is patient. Energy is too scarce for waste. Movements are slow. Ambushes are calculated. Every strike must count. The anglerfish is one of the most infamous examples. Its glowing lure draws victims toward its mouth. But its most extreme adaptation has nothing to do with hunting. It has to do with finding another of its own kind. In the vast dark, locating a mate is nearly impossible. So the anglerfish solves the problem permanently. The male, tiny and fragile, attaches himself to a female and fuses with her body. His organs break down. His independence ends. He becomes part of her. Reproduction ensured not by chance, but by merger. In the midnight zone, survival rewrites biology itself. Not all life here hunts. Many creatures wait. Food arrives from above, slowly, unpredictably. A dead fish, a sinking carcass, a fragment of organic debris drifting down through kilometers of water. And sometimes, something enormous falls. A whale carcass sinking into the midnight zone becomes a sudden explosion of life. Scavengers arrive within hours, then specialists, then organisms that live nowhere else. An entire ecosystem forms around a single death. For decades, that body will feed the deep. And when it is finally gone, the darkness closes back in. As we descend further, the open water gives way to the ocean floor. At around 4 kilometers down, the terrain flattens. No reefs, no forests, no landmarks, just endless sediment. This is the abyssal plain. It covers more of Earth's surface than all continents combined, and we know almost nothing about it. Here, life slows down. Animals grow slowly, reproduce rarely. Some live for centuries. Energy is so limited that even movement becomes a cost-benefit calculation. And yet, many species here grow large, much larger than their shallow water relatives. Giant crustaceans, enormous amphipods, squid of near-mythical proportions. Scientists call this deep-sea gigantism. Why it happens is still unclear. Perhaps it conserves energy. Perhaps it reduces predation. Perhaps it is simply what time produces when nothing rushes. The truth is, we don't know. What we do know is this. Even here, the abyss is not empty. Every grain of sediment contains microbes. Entire unseen food webs operate beneath the surface of the mud. Life recycling life, quietly, endlessly. But the abyss is not the end. Because beyond the plains, the seafloor breaks, and the planet opens its deepest wounds. In the next part, we descend into the trenches, into depths so extreme they bend physics itself, where pressure reshapes biology, where human waste has already arrived, and where life survives in ways that challenge everything we believe about existence. This is where the ocean becomes truly other. Beyond the abyssal plains, the ocean floor does not continue gently downward. It breaks. The crust of the planet fractures, bends, and collapses inward. These are the trenches, wounds carved into Earth by tectonic forces so slow and powerful that continents themselves are dragged down. Here begins the Hadal Zone, named after Hades, the underworld. It starts at 6,000 meters and descends to nearly 11,000. Deeper than any mountain is tall. Deeper than any place humans were meant to reach. At these depths, pressure becomes almost impossible to imagine, more than 1,000 times greater than at the surface. To the human body, it would mean instant collapse. Air spaces would vanish. Bones would fail. Blood would boil, not from heat, but from physics. By every surface standard, this should be a lifeless place. And yet it is not. Life exists here, not in spite of the pressure, but because of adaptation. The hadal zone is home to creatures so fragile in appearance that they seem incompatible with survival. Gelatinous bodies, thin, translucent skin, soft tissues without rigid bones. Among them are trench-dwelling snailfish, the deepest living vertebrates ever recorded. They look unfinished, almost embryonic, but inside their cells are molecules that stabilize proteins under crushing force. Their bodies do not resist pressure. They yield to it, and that makes all the difference. Along the trench floors, swarms of small crustaceans gather. Amphipods, shrimp-like scavengers feeding on whatever reaches the bottom. They thrive in numbers so large they carpet the seafloor. And inside their bodies, scientists have found something unexpected: plastic fibers. Even here, at the deepest known places on Earth, human waste has already arrived. There is no true isolation anymore. The trenches are not uniform. Along their walls, something extraordinary occurs. Cracks open in the crust. Seawater seeps down, heats up, and erupts back into the ocean, carrying chemicals from deep inside the planet. These are hydrothermal vents. Here, life abandons sunlight completely. Microbes feed on hydrogen sulfide, methane, and dissolved metals. Chemistry becomes energy. Entire ecosystems form around these invisible reactions. Worms without mouths, clams without digestive systems, crabs adapted to boiling water and toxic flow, food webs powered not by the sun, but by the earth itself. These discoveries changed how we think about life. Because if organisms can survive here, in total darkness, under crushing pressure, fed by chemistry, then life does not need warmth. It does not need light. It does not even need Earth. Beneath the ice of distant moons like Europa and Enceladus, oceans may exist in permanent darkness, warmed by tidal forces, fed by chemical reactions. The hadal zone is not just a place on Earth. It is a blueprint. And yet, despite its importance, we have barely touched it. Fewer people have visited the deepest trenches than have walked on the moon. Each descent brings back species never seen before. Creatures with no clear anatomy. Animals so delicate they collapse when brought up too quickly. Microbes with metabolisms we still don't understand. For centuries, humans imagined the deep ocean as empty, a silent grave beneath the waves. What we found instead was resilience. Life that bends instead of breaking. Life that disappears instead of fighting. Life that reinvents itself to endure the impossible. Even now, more than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. Each expedition reveals something new. Transparent fish, glowing worms, skin darker than shadow itself. A reminder that discovery is not rare in the deep. It is constant. The greatest mystery is not what we have found. It is how much we have not. Why so many deep-sea animals grow enormous. Why others turn nearly invisible. Why bioluminescence appears again and again in form after form. Nearly 3/4 of deep-sea species produce light. Yet the reasons vary wildly. Hunting, hiding, mating, or simply surviving one more day. For many of these adaptations, we still have no explanation. Perhaps that is what makes the deep ocean so powerful. It is not just hostile, it is unknown. In a world where we have mapped planets and photographed distant galaxies, the largest habitat on our own world remains mostly unseen. Not above us, but beneath. The deep sea is not a monster-filled abyss. It is something far more unsettling. A reminder that life does not need our rules, that Earth still holds secrets, and that the most alien worlds may not be light years away, but directly below our feet. The deepest truth about the ocean is not its monsters. It's its patience. Down there, nothing rushes. Nothing wastes energy. Nothing moves unless it has to. Life waits. While we build cities, while we burn fuel, while we map the stars, the deep continues unchanged. Creatures live entire lifetimes without ever seeing light. Generations pass in darkness without sound. Ecosystems rise and fall without witnesses. They do not know us. And yet, we are already reaching them. Plastic has reached the trenches. Noise echoes through the deep. Temperature changes ripple downward. Even the most isolated places on Earth are no longer untouched. And we still do not understand what lives there. Every time a submersible descends, it finds something new. A body plan never seen before. A glow no one can explain. A behavior that breaks every assumption. The deep ocean does not reveal itself all at once. It offers fragments, hints, warnings. We like to imagine the unknown as something waiting to be discovered. But the deep sea is not waiting. It has existed for hundreds of millions of years without us. It will continue long after we are gone. Perhaps that is why it unsettles us. Because the deepest parts of our own planet feel less familiar than distant worlds. Because there are places on Earth where we do not belong, and never did. The ocean does not need to hide its secrets. It only needs depth and time. More than 80% of the ocean remains unexplored, not because it is empty, but because it is beyond us. For now, if you want to see what still lies beneath the last light, subscribe to Chronicles of the Past. Like this video if the deep changed how you see Earth. And tell us in the comments, which depth disturbed you the most? Because the ocean is not silent. It's just very, very far away.